I took the number of all the members of the youth choir. There was one ASU strike, and I told the person in charge of the list to send me all their names. I want to reach out to everyone, one after the other, to just check on them and see how they're doing. I reached out to her, then that was how I got her contact anyway.
Hello, my name is Omotola Olaniyo.
I am Mutolani Oluwapelumi Olaniyo, the husband of Omotola Fatile. Well, it's been 3 exciting years. 3 years full of challenges, a lot of hurdles, but amidst all of those, God has been faithful. I mean, looking back at the last 3 years, I can see different things that would have turned loss or negative, things that would have turned out in the negative, but God has always proven himself over and over again. The last 3 years has been amazing. Adventurous, yeah, but amazing. Believe me.
All I can say is God has been faithful. We have journeyed. It's been a journey. We started from somewhere, and this is the 3rd year. God indeed has blessed us abundantly. Have increased in size. Because many people have seen my throwback and are like, no, is that you? So, but to the glory of God, we are not where we used to be. And all I can say is, thank you, Jesus.
Okay. So back in school, I was, among others, I was the provincial youth vice president. But okay. And I was at some point the provincial youth choir coordinator. I would always go to their church. So we planted parishes, okay, youth churches particularly, and the pastor heading that parish was the provincial youth pastor, Pastor Fabusiwa, and I was the vice president, like I said. So we get a lot of contact. So I would go to the church we planted to check on him and support whichever way he needs the ESCO to come in. Interestingly, that was the church my wife attended. So she used to be, I think, in one of the Methodist student fellowship, I guess. But eventually she came into this baby parish. Nothing serious at the time, just that when we call for provincial youth choir rehearsal, she would come as well with the rest of her team. I've always been on the drums anyway, and when they come in, oh, Brotola, oh, good evening. I mean, I didn't have anything to do with ladies then. I was this very serious. I mean, as you can imagine, I don't want to use my mouth to say the thing, but then there was no girlfriend. I didn't want to have anything to do with any girlish whatever. It's a lot of distraction, I believe. So they would greet, yeah, Brotola, just good evening. Then, as much as I admired her from afar, I just felt that's not what I want to look into at this time, not knowing that she herself was also admiring, but she just feels this brother is just doing serious, and the fact that I always had a lot of people around me who just want to hang around and all the Brotola vibe, she just feels I can't be running around doing Brotola too. So somehow she kept her distance and I didn't really care. But after I left school, okay, let me rewind a bit. I took the number of all the members of the youth choir. There was one ASU strike, and I told the person in charge of the list to send me all their names. I want to reach out to everyone, one after the other, to just check on them and see how they're doing. I reached out to her, then that was how I got her contact anyway. So after I left school, I just saw her status, one ASU thing like that, and I just went into her DM, responded to it. We got talking.
We met in school, but in church, like the youth church we were attending, he wasn't really in my own church, but he was the music director from the province, and he was always, coming to our church to lead us and lead the choir itself. And as I was able to meet my husband, yeah, I met him in 2017. Yeah, yeah, 2017 in school. He was about graduating at the time. Then I met him. We were just not friends. We're not friends at all. It was like my Oga. I usually call him Brotola. And Brotola wasn't my friend. But we just had like a, Oga to sister relationship. And that was how he got my number when he was checking up on all of us that were under him.
Over 1 hour, we're still chatting, and she went, "Well, it's nice talking to you." I said, "Yeah, same here." I said, "But you're always busy." I said, "Forget busy. If you need to talk, just reach out and I will respond." I said, "Okay, that's fine, no problem." And fast forward, I think the following day or the day after, she dropped a message. I was on site then. So by my training, I'm a civil structural engineer. So I was on site. I saw the message, I couldn't respond. Then on getting back to my lodge, I was going to respond to the message. Then her message was dropped at that same time saying, "I have already said you'll be busy, you'll not be able to respond to my message." And I was right there saying, "Here I am. I told you I'll be here to respond." And we just continued like that. Then at some point, I just felt, okay, I have had a few experiences prior to that time. And I've told God, I say, "God, I don't want to do all this. Women matter can be stressful, I beg. I'm not interested again. At least not for now. I want to focus on my study, my travel, and all of that." And one thing God said there was, "It will happen soon. He is still interested." I wasn't happy that God was still interested when I was ready to move on. But the fact that God was interested, He gave me a word. He said, "When it happens, it will be very easy. In fact, it will be so easy that you begin to ask, could it have been this easy because of the way things will work out?"
It was the one. Please, oh, sister of God still has steez and composure. No, it was the one. Like I said, when we met back, okay, he has always been in my space. I had his number, but we were not talking. My husband is someone who is very reserved. He's principled, so it does not really. He's quite calm and doesn't really talk to everyone except there is a need to. So, but eventually there was a day I posted something online and he it caught his interest or his attention, and he replied to it, and that's how we started talking again. I was actually very surprised seeing seeing my husband back then in my DM, responding. I was like, okay. But over time, I told him I was very blunt and that is not the friendly type, but he was arguing and saying he wasn't like that. So from there, we started talking.
So I noticed the closeness between myself and my now wife, and I had to go back to God. God, is this the Messiah we are expecting, or should we expect another? And God said, "You have said. Can you please clarify?" And God said a few other things I may not be able to go into now. So I went back to her. I think after some time, when it was clear in my spirit that was what God was saying, and I asked her, "Okay, for some time we've been having this, and I think I want us to take things a notch higher." I said, "What do you mean?" I want to marry you. Like, interestingly, this was still on WhatsApp. We've not met in person. And she went, "Have you prayed about it?" I said, "Yes, I have prayed." She said, "When did you pray?" I told her the date I prayed, and she laughed. So why are you laughing? She said, that's the same day she prayed about me too. I'm like, interesting. This matter is getting interesting. So what's the feedback? She said, I will give you feedback, but not yet. Just give me some time to settle me. I said, that's fine. At least I know you have prayed. That is primary for me. If you have prayed, I'm happy. At least I know there's a response. It will be either yes or no. If it is yes, glory to God. If it is no, we move. Then, not long after that time, she came back to say, okay, I'm in a relationship, but I would like to settle things with this guy. And once the coast is clear, I'm done with him, then we can start officially. So that's fine. Take your time. As long as you have, you've given me the feedback I'm expecting to hear. I know where we are with things. Take the time with the guy, settle whatever you need to settle, then we can look into our own. And the rest, they say, is history.
I like his principles. He's a very disciplined man. He is a go-getter. Though he's a workaholic, but it's good because I'm quite playful. So there's this balance. That's what I really like about him. He's, will I say he's shy, but he tries to express himself, in like the little way he can. Well, that's just why I really like him, basically.
So the fact that she is, there are a lot of things I love about my wife actually, but amongst all, she is very mature. Mature in every sense of it. If she wants something, she tells you. If she doesn't want it, she tells you. No hard feelings. I also believe in knowing what you want and not taking time. So I've spoken to I think about some ladies. I'll just put it that way, for confidentiality's sake. I've spoken to some ladies prior to that time, and a good number of them did not say a yes or a no until I met my wife. So the fact that she has been mature in all the previous conversations was a good thing to look forward to. So I knew that even if God says it's this person and I speak to her, she will give me a yes or a no. If she's interested, she will go along. If she's not interested, she will just decline the whole thing. And interestingly, it was what I was expecting. Like she gave me a positive vibe, which I love. But again, like I said, it's just the maturity of how she handles things. So that is one thing. We disagree amicably. We have disagreements here, but it is very mature, and that's one thing I love about her.
Oh my god. Why am I even blushing? But yeah, I remember we met, went to JJT Park in Ikeja.
Can't really remember who initiated, but our first meeting was at JJT Park.
We had a good time. Yeah, that was the first. God. Yeah, we just had to meet to talk. We just wanted to get to know each other better.
And it was good. So as much as I can be a very spiritual and churchy guy, to a large extent, when we talk about this social thing, handling conversation, keeping things going, I don't think I am bad. I might not discuss secular, vulgar things, but then if you are a mature person ready to hold a conversation to a large extent, I can sustain that as long as it is within my scope of interest. On her own part, she was praying and expecting that God, if I don't get a good vibe, knowing fully well that I tend to be churchy and pastoral and all of that, and she feels, okay, I am not a churchy kind of person. Yes, I'm spiritual, but I'm not a church person, as it were. If I don't get the kind of vibe I want to get from this guy, this will be the last. And we got there. I had a good time. She had a good time as well. I didn't know this was what she had in mind, but we just had fun, chatted away, played, and all of that. we had a nice time, really nice time, I must say. And just after then, she said, "Oh, I didn't think you would be that lively and fun to be with, but then it was good you made my day." I'm like, "You're welcome. Anytime, any day, I'm always here for you."
What is that thing I want to do? I'm trying to think. uh, why is it hard? There must be something, truthfully. So I'm trying to think what I don't really like about my husband. I'm blanco. I'm trying to think that, okay, is there really something I don't like about him? It's hard. There are times for me, I will not say I don't like this about him because there are times that we might have little issues, but it's not the main major thing. So, I'm trying to see what don't I like about him. Is it that? Is it this? Is it that? No. One thing, there's this balance he has, Sha, in almost everything. So, even if I would say I don't like this about him, I can't remember anything.
So, speaking of one thing I don't like about my wife. So, first, my foundational knowledge and belief system, and I got this from my mom actually, is that there's no 100% person. Whoever you choose to be with would have a flaw. So don't expect your partner to be 100/100. So I had that mindset that, okay, I'm not getting married to a 100% person. But it's hard to tell what I don't like about her because of how I've been trained. We are all work in progress. So I don't tend to see anything as a flaw. I just feel it's something that is being worked on. But if there's something I always say, my wife is from Ekiti person. An apology to all Ekiti people. I love Ekiti people. I studied in Ekiti. And a good number of my friends, a good number of the people I have met that have brought me this far in life are people from Ekiti. So I'll feel free, say this as if I'm at home. Ekiti people have very loud voice. So a typical Ekiti person would not be angry at you, but the way they express themselves at times, you feel, "Woo, slow down. We're not fighting here." So when my wife wants to say some things, it's not as if she's angry. She just wants to express herself as it is. I'm like, "Babes, can you?" So yeah, okay. I'm not shouting. I'm not saying you are shouting. I'm just saying, can you talk a bit more calmly? I mean, as I'm talking, I'm here. I'm not so far away. I'm not distant from you. Okay, just slow down and say it as calm as you can. Okay. So yeah, that's the only thing. If you ask me, everything else, I just feel it's just one of those things, because there are times where it might look like, oh, she's overreacting, but again, on the second thought, I feel if I had done better, she probably would not have done. I mean, this is garbage in, garbage out. She has only responded to what you've done. So if you don't want her to respond like that, do what you should do as well. So that's how I see things basically. But to a large extent, we now know how to manage each other. At least within these 3 years, we've made a lot of progress.
Who is more romantic? I'll say it's me, but I think it's just 50-50 because it's not like I do too much, so we're just making efforts on both sides. Why are you laughing?
So being romantic, I give that to my wife 100%. I'm not your typical romantic person. I do my best, and I'm sure she would know I try my best. But then, as far as being romantic is concerned, I give that to my wife 100%.
Me, my husband is not playful. I'm the playful one. I'm the playful one.
Being funny and playful. I am funnier, she's more playful. She plays a lot more, as you would imagine if you've been around her. But I believe I'm funnier.
Workout. Hey, I'm singing because I've been trying my best lately, and who loves to work out? Nobody loves to work out, but we are trying our best. Yeah.
Workout. I would say working out. In recent times, I have calmed down. At some point, I worked out more, but after childbirth, because she wanted to come back in shape, she started working out. And even the workout is just jogging around her. It's not as if she's doing anything serious. But the hardcore workout, the push up, pull up, and all of that, that's me. Because I have to be on the drums, so I cannot throw it away. If you ask me who is more charming, first, I would say beauty lies in the face of the beholder. And as much as I know I'm not saying it enough, I think my wife is charming. And at times I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, now wow for you. But God has blessed me with a beautiful wife, yeah? There are times she looks at me and she's like, guy, you fine. I'm like, where do you find? I mean, at times I tend to think she's just hyping. But again, I look at her and I feel, this be fine, forget. So, being charming, I give it to my wife.
What is this now? When the stature is obvious, but anyway, regardless of the stature, yeah, we are with my full chest. Oh my god. Well, yeah, I am the one. My husband is quite picky. The house FFO. You can give that to me.
The house, the house FFO. I wish you can cut this part out, but then my wife eats more than I do. I choose not to make it sound the way you make it sound, but my wife eats more than I do. So we balance our personal goals with our goals as couple in order of priority, basically. So we believe that when when we weigh things on the order of priority, which one comes first, which one benefits us long term. I mean, when we do all of that analysis, we know which is more important. So if she needs to get some of our goals smashed for us to make progress, yeah, it might look like it's our goal, we let her go. If I need to hit those milestones for our combined progress, then we go for it. Then if it is what will benefit us as a family without each person being the beneficiary, then we just go for that, irrespective of whatever it is. I mean, we've had to make a few sacrifices of our personal goals just to make sure we get our family goals achieved. So it's basically on the scale of priority. Do you have any shared hobbies?
If music is a hobby,
Well, so yeah, if music is our thing, so we get to do music together a lot of time.
and singing, when we get to sing, have a family time, and one person is, taking the soprano part, another person is parting the song, and so that's just it for us.
Okay. What's the biggest? I think I'll let her go first. Ladies first, I would say.
The biggest lesson we've learned from each other. Um, what I've learned from him, I'll say, is being prudent. And why are you laughing? Yeah, I can be, someone who gives. I would say there are times where I just will want to meet people's needs. I just want to do some things, but that he has taught me to weigh my options. He has taught me to, you know what you've taught me now.
Well,
Yeah, but in that line, he taught me all of those things, to always balance things, to think about my finances, the financial goals, and plan, basically.
on my own part, I think one of the biggest things I've learned from her is trying to put other people first. So as much as I would not say I am self-centered, I'm not. But I believe the scripture that says love your neighbor as yourself, no more than yourself. So if there's anything I would do that would be detrimental to me, I would reconsider. It has to be fair. So I should not get into trouble to bail you out. And I also believe that it takes someone who is standing to help another person stand. But she has helped me see things from a different perspective, and to a large extent I've been able to find that balance between, okay, helping others but not getting into trouble. That's a difficult question, but then we just, every opportunity we get to be around each other, we just try to use it, basically. Every
Yeah,
opportunity we get to be around each other.
we're just, always intentional about these things, because we know if we are waiting for the perfect time, it might not come. So
Okay.
every time is the perfect time for us. As soon as we see there's a time and we are not too busy, we just make good use of it. And other things I can say we do is having to, go out intentionally, because we might overlook that too. But we just need to make, it intentional and say, let's do this, let's do that for ourselves. So those are the things.
Well, so for the sake of public content, which I believe you caught, so where we see each other in the next 5 years is basically way ahead of what we have personally planned. And what I mean by that is we have plans, yeah, and God have said some things that we know that it is Him who have the ability to make it happen. So I would not want to put a limit to what God has shown us, if you get what I mean. So we have plans, pen and paper, but then we know what God has said concerning us in the next 5 years, and I would not want to put words to it on set. Do you
Yeah,
want to make any addition to that?
I believe by the special grace of God, in 5 to 10 years' time, we would have expanded in every area by His grace, financially, as a family. And I see us walking in purpose, and not just walking in it, we are doing ministry together, we are building goals together, and we are achieving it together. That's what I see us doing in years to come by the grace of God.